What is up, YouTube? What is up, Jet Nation? Sean back with another episode of the JETS Jet Show. Go Jets! So now that we wrapped up the draft and we've talked a little bit about the draft class and some of the things like that, what other moves could this team make going forward to continue to improve the roster and set us up to, attempt a playoff run this year? I took a look. There's three positions all on defense that I can see us still making some moves with. So those positions are going to be interior defensive line, linebacker, and safety. I know Tyrann Mathieu just came off the market and signed with New Orleans, which honestly makes that secondary pretty darn lethal. They lose Marcus Williams, but they sign Marcus May, and they sign the Honey Badger. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, let's take a look at safety first. And there were three guys looking at the list that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. The first one's Landon Collins. I don't know what he's got left in the tank, but if you have a healthy LaMarcus Joyner, Jordan Whitehead, and bring Landon Collins in to play kind of that hybrid linebacker, strong safety, role on a dime, maybe a dime package or something like that, I think that would be a solid move. I don't necessarily think he's the best fit, but the other two guys I do think would be phenomenal fits. I know this next one's a little bit older, but to Sean Gibson, I think would be an ideal fit. I think he'd fit perfectly. He's got a lot of flexibility. He can play both safety positions. You could put him in with a three safety look, just like I had mentioned with Landon Collins. He's a veteran. He definitely brings some leadership. I don't think he costs a whole heck of a lot either to bring in. So I am all for that move. I think that actually might be the best move that they have that they could make out of all the remaining moves, potentially, barring some crazy trade or something like that. But I would love that move. And then the other guy is Jaquiski Tart, who's from San Francisco, who played with Saleh, who developed there as a safety. Another guy, and that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, either of those two guys, Gibson or Tart, I think would be really great, solid moves for the Jets to make to really kind of completely solidify that secondary. I would have loved the Honey Badger, but $11 million was a little steep for me. That's what he ended up getting with New Orleans. And I thought it was a little unrealistic for us to sign him at this point. I mean, Joe Douglas, I think, has kind of made the majority of his major moves, and I think now he's just looking maybe to make some supplemental moves to kind of round out the roster at this point. Moving on, let's talk about linebacker. And there's a few guys on here. One guy that piqued my mind was, I can't say this guy's name really, Nick Kwiatkowski, linebacker from the Raiders. Not super old, 28. Had a solid year last year. I think that would be great, phenomenal depth. I don't think it would cost a whole heck of a lot. Another guy, Quan Alexander, we would have brought him in for a visit. We didn't sign him. We signed Marcus Harris instead, but he's still an option. Still definitely an option. The window's probably not closed on that at this point. I would like Quan, but I have a feeling we probably didn't sign him because he was looking for a little too much money, a little more money than we were looking to spend on a linebacker at this point. But that's why Kwiatkowski would be, I think, a better fit, honestly. And then also another guy, KJ Wright. He's getting a little long in the tooth, but you could probably have him for a decent price. Give you some more veteran leadership on that young defense, and just continue to help this team to grow. I do think we definitely need another linebacker because the way I look at it, I don't have a problem with Quincy Williams starting next to C.J. Mosley, but if somebody gets injured, I don't think we have the quality depth we need at that position. And the past 2 years we've had a lot of issues and injuries at the linebacker position. So, yeah, so I do like KJ Wright. We do definitely need another inside linebacker, especially for depth. If any of these guys get injured, I'm not too comfortable with where we are with depth right now at the linebacker position. So, moving on, last but not least, the interior defensive line. I'm not super thrilled with any of the guys that are available right now. Nobody that's too high of upside. We do have a little bit of depth there, but I do think we need a little bit bigger guy. Larry Ogunjobi would be a good. I think he'd be a good fit. Ndamukong Suh, I think, would be a good fit as a part-time interior run stuffing guy. He might be way too expensive. I'm not really sure what he's looking at. At his age, I think he's 35 now. I think he might be 35 now. So it's really getting up there, and that's another thing to be a little concerned with at that age. But you have Linval Joseph, who's a bigger run stuffing interior defensive lineman who could probably come in pretty cheap and give you that run support depth. Rankins was horrible last year against the run, one of the worst interior defensive linemen in the league against the run, but he was very good against the pass. So, do you think maybe you need another guy that could play the run in case somebody gets injured or something like that? We have a little bit more depth there. So those are some of the additional moves I think we can make to kind of round out the roster, complete everything, and go into the season fully stocked, locked and loaded, ready to go, and make a playoff run. So if you like the content, obviously like, subscribe, give me some comments. I love interacting with you guys, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Peace.